Hi, everybody. This is Dave Turnquist, a licensed real estate broker in Texas. And today we're going to talk just for a couple minutes about 5 tips if you're thinking about selling your home anytime soon. So let's get started. First, number one, decluttering. A lot of people have things in their homes, um, pictures on the walls, um, collections, and things like that. When you're living there, that's great stuff. But when you're getting ready to sell, no one really cares about your doll collection or your pint glass collection, or 100 pictures of your family along the hallway walls. So those are things that you need to consider taking down. You need to make your house as neutral as possible, and you also need to get rid of stuff that doesn't need to be there. If you have a house that's just filled with too much stuff, it's time to declutter. So some of that stuff you can get rid of. You kind of need to go through and decide what is it that I can get rid of? What is it that I have to keep, even if I'm not using it? And what is it that I need to keep here, for the next 6 months? Because I'm going to be using it. So if you're not going to be using something in the next 6 months, you don't need it in the house. You can take it and move it to storage. If you're not going to use something, if you haven't used something in 2 or 3 years, you don't need it. Sell it at a garage sale, give it away, go drop it off at Goodwill, something like that. But you need to get your house cleared out and as movable and as empty as possible. So when people come in, they see the house and not your things, not your collections, not your photos, not too much furniture. You want to make it look like, as much as you can, a model home. So it would be great if it were a vacant house, but some people don't like vacant homes because then they look too empty and you hear the echo. So, I'm not telling you not to live in your house, but what I am saying is you got to make some choices. If you're going to move, do you really want to move stuff that you've never, you haven't used in years? You're going to get rid of that anyway. Get rid of it now. All right, let's move on to the next one. Do repairs. You need to go around your house and check out things that you've just kind of lived with and you didn't worry about it. But now that you're selling, somebody else is going to look at that. When a home inspector comes into your home and checks everything out, they're going to notice everything that's not working or is broken or needs some type of repair. So go around the house looking for those things. Check all your outlets, make sure that all the plugs are working. If there's cracked plates, go spend 79 cents and get a new plate for the light switch. If you have ceiling fans that are really old or dated, change them out. Um, Change all the light bulbs. Make sure all your light bulbs are working. The last thing you want is somebody to come in and it looks like, a dungeon in there because they can't see because half your lights aren't working. If you have a light that it's not the bulbs, but it's the light, then get a new fixture. So change out things that, aren't working. If you have wood rot, get it repaired. You can either do it yourself or, hire a handyman to come in and fix some of the wood rot. Those are all things you're going to need to do anyway when someone comes to and makes an offer on your property. If you need things like electrical repairs or plumbing repairs, you really need to hire a licensed professional electrician or plumber or roofer, etc. Because when an inspector comes out there and they notice that something has been done, the the buyer is going to ask for receipts and proof that the repairs were done to code. Did you get a permit to do these repairs? Who did them? Did they do them correctly? Okay, so if it's not working, fix it. If you only have 3 burners on your stove that are working, then go get a new burner for the fourth one that's been out for a year. All right, updates. A lot of people think, well, if I update my house, it'll sell for more. Yes, it will. But if you spend $60,000 updating your house and it only increases the value of your home $60,000, then you've wasted your time because you could have sold it for 60,000 less and made the same amount of profit. You don't want to spend money and break even on the money that you spent. Updates are for things that are going to make you more on the dollar than you spent. So things like paint, that's one, paint is one of the easiest things. If your home hasn't been painted in about, 8 or 9, 10 years, then you need to do that. Some of those things you can do yourself. Um, Updating the cabinet knobs and things like that. A lot of trivial things that make things look nicer and don't cost very much at all. Have your home deep cleaned. You can either do it yourself or you can hire somebody to come in. But when I say deep clean, I mean things that you've never cleaned in that house before. All your windows, your window sills, the toilets need to be scrubbed, inside and out. Everything needs to be looked like it's brand new. And if there are things that are just old and, you know, they're working, but they just look terrible, then consider replacing them, like a toilet or a bathtub or something like that. Old ceiling fans, um, countertops. If you have, green vinyl countertops, it may be time to go ahead and switch them out. But again, think about how much you're going to spend and check with your agent to see, how much is that really going to bring your house value up. I've had clients in the past that spent a lot of money remodeling and they didn't really, they either didn't even get all their money back or they basically broke even on the things they did. And that really wasn't necessary. We could have just sold it as is and moved on. Just, basically just cleaned it and made it look a little better. All right. Landscaping. First impressions are very important when somebody comes up to your house. If the lawn isn't mowed and there's, the grass is going over the sidewalk and the curb, it doesn't look good. And people think, well, if they're not taking care of their lawn, or their yard, what does the house look like? So that's the first message you're sending to someone is your yard. So the landscaping, make sure if you don't want to mow it and you don't want to take care of the flower beds, then hire somebody to come in and take care of all that. And even, bring in some new fresh flowers from, the nursery and make it look nice near the front of the house. That's one way to get people's attention when they come in and go, oh, look at this. These are nice flowers. It smells nice. It's bright and airy. But don't overdo it. If you're somebody who has a green thumb and has been there for many years and had this massive garden and whatever, you have your own arboretum in the backyard. Well, not everybody's going to want that. I went to one house one time and there was so much vegetation in the backyard. It literally felt like we were in a jungle and I needed a machete to get through it. It was plants of all kinds in this backyard, but there was no backyard because it was covered in vegetation of all these weird plants. Um, that's not going to go over well because most people aren't going to want that. Most people want a backyard where they can do things in it. So keep that in mind as well. You want to have everything well manicured and cut and trimmed and look nice. A lot of mulch, new fresh mulch, things like that. An update list and documents. Write down a list of everything that you have done to the house and had done to it in the last 10 years. Have you had it painted? Have you had a new roof? Have you had a new air conditioner or heater? Have you had any new plumbing put in, like PEX plumbing? Any updates to the electrical systems? All these things, sometimes you don't even remember you did some of these things. These are all very important when it comes to sell your home because anything that you've done recently is going to improve the value of the home because it's something that the buyer is not going to have to do in all likelihood, at least not anytime soon. So make a list of everything you did. Go try to find the receipts for everything that you had done. If you don't have the receipts anymore, if you can remember who did the repairs, then contact those companies and see if they have a record still in their files and if they'll send it to you. So, like if you had an air conditioning system replaced, 5 years ago, but you can't find the receipt, that air conditioning company probably still has a record of, what was installed and they can send you that. And this will be very helpful to you and your agent when you're getting ready to sell the home. You can provide this list to any buyer that's coming in and it makes your home look like, oh, look at all these things they did to this house. These are things we won't have to do. And it can also help speed up the process, because if the inspector knows all the things that have been done to it as well, that helps them do their job. All right, these tips will help you ensure that your home is ready to list and sell at top dollar. You want to make sure you consult with your agent to make sure what needs to be done and what doesn't need to be done, and make sure that those things get done before you list it. You don't want to be working on your home and moving stuff out while people are seeing it. So you want to have everything done before you get people in there, before they come and take photos, so you can get the most, money for the sale of your home. Thanks for joining in today.